Hello everyone. Glad you could join us for another show. It has nothing to do with age, and I have a very special guest. Of course, all the guests are special, but this one is more special. Anyway, before I introduce our guest, I wanted to update everyone that the second book, Bo's Warriors, is coming out from the printer on the 27th of August. Bo's Warriors by Triumph Books, and it'll be available in the stores in September. But actually, if you went to Barnes & Noble today, you could pre-order the book. And I'm not sure if you went to Triumph Books, you probably could pre-order the book. Anyway, we're pleased about that, and we'll give you more information once the book comes out, and I can show you the cover. The cover is really neat. The back cover is really neat. But in any event, today's show is going to be a little different. As you can see, the torture table, massage table, excuse me. It was a Freudian slip. Not quite. The gentleman that I have on my left is somebody that I've known for a long time, actually since 2002, before I ran Western States. And I was referred by another old friend who actually interviewed on the show, Jerome Beauchamp. And so Ve Loyce has been there from 2002 to present, Ve Loyce Shackleton. And maybe some of you have heard the term monsters of massage. Here he is in person. And he doesn't look like a monster.
No.
You're not a monster.
I don't look like one.
And you're not a monster.
No.
And we even have his lovely wife, Marcia, in the audience. Hi, Marcia.
Hi, Marcia.
Glad to be here.
All right. In any event, the way I start the program is with a quote. And I'm going to ask you to relate to the quote as to how it might affect your life, if it does.
Okay.
It may or may not. This is by Flava Whedon, and the quote is, "If one dream should fall and break into 1,000 pieces, never be afraid to pick up one of those pieces up and begin again." I can repeat it if you like.
No, I think I've got that.
Does this in any way apply to you?
Sure. I think I'd apply it to life, our dreams in life.
Well, talk about your dreams.
That if they fall apart, you pick up what you can and you move on.
Maybe give an example of a dream.
Wow. I don't know if I have an example of a dream
you
like
have
that.
tons of them. I know you do.
More like a vision.
Okay. Dream, vision,
Vision.
a goal, whatever.
I think sometimes a vision would be, for me, when I was a salesperson, wishing to do something more, a dream about doing something more worthwhile than just selling people stuff. And as it turned out, that dream for me, or that vision, was massage therapy and helping people heal in their lives.
Super. And as far as endorsement, or he's helped me over the years, actually since 2002. He's helped. He's been there, and we're going to talk about that. But before we talk about massage and massage therapy, I want to introduce you to the man, the substance behind the magic hands and so forth. So we're going to find out a little bit about you to share with the audience, Ve Loyce.
Okay.
Like, where are you from? Where were you born?
Vallejo, North Bay area.
So you're a local,
Yes.
local Californian.
Absolutely.
Okay. And tell us a little bit about your parents and family.
Oh. I was born in Vallejo. My dad worked at Mare Island shipyards, and my mom
What did he do at the shipyards?
he was a machinist, building submarines.
Worked with his hands.
Worked with his hands. And my mom was a waitress, also working with people and working with her hands.
Okay. So Vallejo would be a good location because that's where the Mare Island.
Yeah. My dad moved there when they closed the mines in Grass Valley in 1939.
Is he a Californian too?
No, he's English.
So where's he from?
London, England.
London, England. Okay. And I'm going to jump and then come back. You also have a famous or infamous uncle or cousin?
Cousin, that would be Sir Ernest Shackleton.
Sir Ernest.
Yes.
So tell us a little, well, first of all, so your father's family is all from
England.
England.
Yes.
So any other Sirs in the family?
Not that we're aware of.
Okay, how did your cousin become a Sir? Do you know that?
Yes. Sir Ernest became knighted on his second trip to Antarctica, and he was knighted for his scientific discoveries while on the first transatlantic Arctic expedition.
Wow. What year was that?
That would have been about 1913.
Before World War I?
Yes.
Okay.
It was a failed expedition. He got within 97 miles of the South Pole and turned back. And his...
You know why they turned back?
Yes, because they couldn't make it, and he said he would rather be a dead donkey, a live donkey versus a dead lion.
Okay. Being alive outweighs being dead.
Yes.
And I know that there's a book about his exploits.
Yes.
And I recently found out just today there's a documentary.
Yes, there's about 27 books and several documentaries.
Can you tell us a little bit about them or how someone would go find?
Just Sir Ernest Shackleton. And if you Google that, there's several videos and, like I say, about 27, 28 books. Now, our family, when my dad came over, that was not a big deal because he was from that generation where in the earliest 20th century, it was simply a failed expedition. They came back to World War I. They had notoriety for survival for one day, and then life moved on.
Very different. They didn't have cameras of all the pictures and all this.
Well, they actually documented a lot
but
photographically.
Not like today, though.
But no one cared.
No one cared
because you had the First World War going.
Who funded this?
Several personal investors.
And what was their object? What did they want to accomplish?
Scientific discovery to discover the South Pole. His latest expedition would be to cross the Antarctic continent.
Okay. To put the British flag?
Yes.
And
actually to actually walk across the entire continent.
That's a long way.
It's a long way. In the snow.
In the snow?
Yeah. So the family, it was not a big deal until its resurgent in the 70s or 80s, 1980s.
Okay, when did your father come to the United States?
1911.
1911. And Sir Ernest, did he come to the United States too?
No.
He never came to the United States?
Had no reason to.
No reason to. Okay. Big family back then?
No.
Okay. All right, so your father came here in 1911. And where did he meet your mom?
In Grass Valley, about 1936.
All right, so he came to what, to New York?
No, well, he came into New York, but he came right to Grass Valley.
What year would that have been?
That would have been 1911. He was in Grass Valley.
What prompted him to
mining?
Mining, the silver mine.
Yeah, they're Cornish miners, so they all came to.
So
gold mines.
he was a miner.
Well, he was a baby then, but he worked in the gold mines.
Okay. Gold mines in Grass Valley?
Yeah, in Grass Valley. That's where he learned the machinist trade, took it to Vallejo, and then in the mid-50s moved to Rancho Cordova. Went into the rocket industry. Working for Aerojet.
There you go. Okay. Here, in this area.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, do you have brothers, sisters?
None living. One brother died.
Younger, older?
Older.
So are you the youngest?
Yes.
You're the youngest. So You grew up then in Grass Valley?
No, I actually grew up in Rancho Cordova.
Rancho Cordova, okay. And what was it like for young Ve Loyce as a youngster? What was your life like?
Great.
What'd you do?
Went to school, hung out with our buddies, and at the time, Rancho Cordova was very rural. It was still vineyards, which is why all the streets are named in the old Rancho Cordova as grapes. And we went hunting all the time.
You on a farm then, or?
No,
Not a farm?
no, it was all wide open countries. There was no shopping centers and no Watt Avenue Bridge, no Sunrise Bridge, no Howe Avenue Bridge. It was out in the country.
So you got to know the American River well.
Yes.
So what kind of hunting did young Ve Loyce do at that age?
Anything that moved.
Anything that moved. And what did you use?
22s.
22s?
Yeah.
Okay. So you grew up as
That's
outdoors?
just what we did.
Outdoors?
Yeah, that's
right?
just what. That's
Okay. And what happened after, well, during high school, anything else that was notable?
No.
Noteworthy? Had to be something else during your first 17, 18 years, other than hunting and going to school.
that was probably about it.
What were your interests back then?
Things that kids just did. Music,
Music. So what was the music that you were listening to back then?
rock and roll,
So we're talking about the 50s?
50s.
50s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Buddy Holly. Then
Buddy Holly.
Then evolving into blues music, but it was reintroduced by English bands. But that cusp of Righteous Brothers, blues, and rock and roll.
Was there affinity for the English bands that came over?
It was just all good music.
Just all good music.
Yeah.
Okay. So Buddy Holly, was he like a favorite?
He was good, but he had been killed prior to my really getting into music, but I listened to him.
Okay. Okay. So who were your favorites back then?
Oh gosh, Rolling Stones,
Rolling
John
Stones.
Mayall, Beatles. Then it evolved into psychedelic music in the 60s.
Okay. Okay. Now, as I recall, you got into the music business.
I did.
What years were those?
1965.
65. Well, tell us how that evolved.
I went to high school. One of the guys I went to high school with actually owned a music production company through a friend of his. So I worked for him selling entertainment and managing rock and roll bands in 1965 and early 1966.
Okay. For 2 years?
Yes.
Okay. What about that industry that you liked?
The action.
The-
You're out all the time with musicians and people, and it's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any downside?
Hard to make money.
Hard to make.
Yeah. But I was young and I didn't need much.
Didn't matter
Yeah.
at that point.
No.
Okay. So from the mid 60s, then occupation wise, what direction did you go?
Went in the Army and...
Army, okay.
Army in
Why the Army?
Because I was drafted.
For Vietnam?
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So that was just one of those experiences, and after that kind of life changed and we moved on.
So you served in the Army, and did you go to Vietnam?
I did not.
You did not?
No, I was blessed.
How did that happen? Do you know? That you didn't go?
Angelic intervention.
Okay, okay. Something happened that
I was just blessed.
you were okay with that.
Yeah. Well, I was a young American boy, and I actually at one point volunteered to go, but I didn't have to go, so life turned out great.
Okay. So you're in the service for 2 years?
2 years.
2
yeah.
years, okay. So we're still in the late 60s now?
Yes.
Okay, so then the 70s. Tell us about the 70s.
60s and 70s were good times. Music was great.
You don't have to incriminate yourself on the show, but
There's no statute of limitations on that. I don't care. I was an active participant.
Okay, okay, you were evolving.
Yes, I was.
You were experimenting. You were exploring.
Yes.
New frontiers.
Expanding.
And expanding. New
And
frontiers.
following Uncle Ernie's lead, I was exploring. I was an explorer.
You were.
Dimensionally, but it was an exploration.
New frontiers.
Absolutely.
Okay, okay. When did you, was there a time that you got reconnected or reoriented with Uncle Sir Ernest?
No.
So all through your life he was bigger than life, or what?
No, he was just a relative.
Just a relative.
Yeah,
Just a relative.
It did not play a big part in our life at that time.
You don't think so?
No.
No? Okay. At some point did it play a big part?
No.
No. Just a relative.
Just a relative.
This relative.
Another dead relative, and I've got a lot of them.
Okay. Okay. So now we're in the 60s and 70s. You're having a good time.
Yes.
Working?
Yes.
What are you doing in the 70s?
I was a land surveyor. I was an Indian jeweler, owned Indian jewelry stores for a dozen years.
That was popular back then, wasn't
Yes.
it?
And it, being in Colorado, it was,
Were you living in Colorado?
yeah, it was
okay.
a lucrative business.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And?
Then I was in some sort of sales for most of the rest of my life.
Some sort of sales.
Yes.
Okay. When did you, I mean, how did massage, when did that enter? And how did that enter?
1993, and I was working for the Sacramento gold miners selling Canadian football to Sacramentans.
The Sacramento what now?
Gold miners. They were an expansion team from the Canadian Football League in 1992 and 1993.
Do you remember the name Mike Keller?
Yes.
How do you know Mike?
With the team.
With the team.
Yeah.
Mike is the one of the principals in Bo's Warriors.
Is he?
Yes, yes. He's one
Is
of the,
this a 6 degrees of separation stuff?
well, I'm not sure about that, but Mike was involved in football since, well, from the University of Michigan,
Right.
and then NFL, and then these
CFL,
other
yeah.
CFL and these other leagues. So then you probably met the announcer, which was I'm blocking on his name. He played for the Rams. He became the announcer for the team. Jack Youngblood. That name familiar?
I remember Youngblood, but I don't remember him as an announcer.
But not
Yeah.
through. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So tell us a little bit about that football experience and what you were.
It was just sales. It was fun.
Just sales.
Yeah.
What did you do?
We sold group tickets to businesses and people.
Okay.
We tried to jumpstart an entirely new league and tried to convince people that it was fun to come out to Hornet Field and have a tailgate party when the tarmac was about 112 degrees.
There had to be some sales job.
Yeah. Well, you can see it wasn't too good. The team left and went back
Well,
to
the team
Canada.
left, but there was also an antitrust legislation going on. The NFL, there was a blockage, so they had to go to Europe and became the World Football League. I don't know if you followed that. You didn't follow that. Okay, so
I had already made the change from sales to the art of healing.
So what happened? I mean, you're selling football stuff, and now what happened?
On one infamous day, at the press box at Hornet Field, we used the press box and a telephone bank to telemarket and sell tickets. So we had about 20 people up there on any given day, contacting businesses to encourage them to support the CFL. And on one day, 3 people came up to my desk. My whole life, I would touch people. My whole life.
You're a touchy.
I'm a touchy guy, and I would touch someone, and they would say, "Gosh, how did you know my elbow hurt?" And I blew it off. I mean, I absolutely ignored it for 40 years of my life. Didn't own it. But hindsight is that my entire life from childhood, I would touch somebody to talk to them, and I would end up touching them in some place that
But how did you touch them?
I just touched them, just like we're talking. Just like everybody I talked to, I at some point touched them.
But not always on the elbow.
No, that was the point. Is I would end up touching somebody, and they would go, "God, how'd you know that hurt?" Well, I blew it off, and on this particular day, 3 people came up to my desk. People would get tight, and I'd just walk around and squeeze their shoulders. And one day, 3 people came up to my desk individually and said, "Ve Loyce, you should be a massage therapist." And I ignored the first one. And the second one came up and said, "Ve Loyce, you should become a massage therapist." And I ignored the second one. A third person came up, same day, 1 hour, came up and said the same thing, and I ignored them. All
I want
three.
to stop you for a moment. At that particular point in time, was there massage therapy going on in the football league that you knew over the team?
There was, and I witnessed it, but I had no interest in it.
Why was that?
I was a salesperson.
Okay.
But on this,
But there was massage going on.
yes, there was.
Okay. Okay.
But on this particular day, those same 3 people
Was it
came.
at 112 degrees?
It was. We were in the press box, and it was nice and cool. It was air conditioned in the press
good,
box,
good, okay.
and they had lots of telephones, so that's why we worked out of it. And on that day, all 3 came up to my station together and said that they were certified massage therapists, all of them, and they thought I had a gift, and I should go to school and learn about the gift and how to use it. So on that day, again, like angelic intervention, on that day, it took those 3 people coming to me at the same time, being skilled therapists. And on that particular day, I was ready to hear it and accept it.
Okay. Then how would you decide what school to learn the...
Closest one to where I lived, which was Citrus Heights,
that was the closest. What was that called?
Healing Arts Institute.
Okay. And what form of massage therapy did they...
Normal Swedish massage.
Swedish massage.
Yes.
So maybe you can tell us a little bit about the different schools of massage?
Well, the different types of Swedish is just nice. I didn't stay with nice very long, as you can attest to. Our technique...
Nice means what?
Nice means easy. It relaxes the top fascia. It's nice, touchy-feely, which most people like.
Because it's easy.
No, easy.
Easy. Okay.
As I left massage school, I gravitated towards those people who needed help, not just relaxation.
What people were those?
Everyone I worked on. I did corporate massage for a while,
Okay.
and then when I got, so I've been doing this as my 20th year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as the business and the art evolved, so did the magnitude of people. And I worked for Gold River Chiropractic part-time for a couple of years while I had a chair massage business. And then it evolved into sports massage, and we started working on fighters
What year would that have been?
about 15 years ago.
Okay, so in the late
Actually,
90s.
16 years ago.
Late 90s.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it
Can you
had-
tell us about that transition or involvement?
I think it was just leaving the chiropractic office where I learned the art of target massage, and by that is what we do. The doctors would say, I want you to work on a specific muscle group, and why you do that is if you do this, this, and this, it will create this reaction to facilitate the adjustment.
Give us specific examples of
For example, if you have a tight neck, we would work the scalenes, the rhomboids, and upper trapezius muscles, and that would allow that shoulder to move better and your neck to move better.
Okay. So you learned that through chiropractic.
Through 2 years of that art form, and then I left them.
Okay.
Went out on my own, and my first partner and I started a sports massage business, and the only sport we knew of was boxing. So we started working boxing and kickboxing gyms, which has evolved into the MMA.
Where was that in Newcastle?
That was actually in Roseville.
Roseville, okay. Okay.
So I worked with Nasser Navaroni at Kickboxing Incorporated and Dave Marinobles, the world champion, at his boxing gym in Roseville.
Would you go to the gyms?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. And what kinds of issues did the boxers have?
Legs and shoulders.
Legs and shoulders. What kind of leg issues do they have?
They do jogging, and they're on their legs all the time. And the shoulders, where they sit there and hit a speed bag 1,500 to 2,000 times a day, so they have shoulder issues.
Okay. Okay. What would you do for a shoulder issue?
Kill it.
How?
Smash it to the best of my ability.
Explain to the viewers.
I'll show you. I'll show it on you how that's done.
You're going to smash it on me?
Yeah.
But I don't have a shoulder issue, but maybe I'll learn that I guess I do.
You will when we're done.
Okay. Okay. All right. So you worked with first sports were boxers.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
In fact, when Marcia first came in, my wife, lovely wife Marcia, when she first came into the office, it had a myriad of fight posters from around the world because some of our fighters fought all over
But she's not a fighter.
No, so you can see the office now, and the fight's gone, and now we are blessed with 85% of our clients are endurance runners. So right now, the Monsters of Massage has evolved into 85% of our clients, like yourself, you came when you were doing Western States.
Right.
And we haven't advertised in 8 years. Everyone who comes into our office comes in because someone has referred them. And everyone
That's
who comes,
the best kind.
absolutely. And everyone who comes into our office knows it's not a foo-foo massage, that it is going to be painful to some degree, but that it works. And you can attest to that.
Tears have come to my eyes. But it's great when he stops.
Yes, that's the best part of the massage.
That's the best part. Is thank goodness this is over. And then, of course, it helps. I mean, after the crying stops, after leaving, drinking lots of water, going out the next day, it works.
It does.
It does work. So explain this mashing. What are you doing when you're mashing?
We are compressing tissue to the maximum, squeezing out the lactic and uric acid and carbon dioxide, addressing adhesions within the muscle tissue. So what we basically do is reconnaissance on the body, acquire the target, isolate it, and dispatch it with extreme prejudice.
Well said. Translate that to the viewers. I mean, I know what you're talking about.
We find that itch you cannot scratch in your body, and we scratch it for you. That's how simple it is.
Okay. So you've been doing this scratching for quite a while then?
Yes.
Start with the boxers or even before?
Did corporate massage. The fun stuff started with boxers where they really needed what we had to offer.
How did you learn that you needed to do at a different level than the Swedish?
It's evolved.
Can you talk about that?
You learn a technique of being gentle, and then with intuition, you really realize that the target you're feeling, sensing on somebody's body is thicker or tougher than nice will help. So you apply, it's a matter, it evolved into recognizing the amount of pressure necessary to create a specific result.
So that's taken years.
Yes.
Okay.
It wasn't overnight, and the entire monster of massage technique has evolved for 14 years in Newcastle.
Is that when you called yourself the monster?
Yes.
Can
Monsters of Massage.
Because that title?
It happened on one day with my first partner, who I was training a man to replace me at Gold River Chiropractic office. The doctors liked the results. They asked me to train the person. We were working on an Army major, stroke for stroke. And this major said, "You guys are a couple of monsters." And we looked at each other, and he quit there 2 weeks later, and we started our first Monsters and Massage business, working on fighters.
That was the term.
That was it. Yeah.
It fits.
It fits.
But a nice monster. If there are nice monsters, Ve Loyce is a nice monster when he's done.
When I'm done, yeah.
When he's done.
Yeah.
Okay. So can you tell us a little bit about, okay, so now you're doing maybe 85% runners. But can other people come to see you?
Absolutely.
And what would the non-runners, what were some of the issues that you've dealt with, and can you name some of them, and maybe
Probably one of the biggest is sciatica, and that's what we're going to demonstrate with you today.
Okay.
Because the sciatic condition is our #1 non-athletic referral. In other words, people who sit a lot, people get a pain in the butt, that toothache that you have in your hip that emanates and radiates down the leg and just becomes debilitating.
that was one of the issues that I had back
Yes.
in 2002.
2002.
Yeah, sciatica.
And that's our #1 non-athletic referral. And we get a myriad of people. We have clients that work in California state offices that have referred people for 8, 9 years because they had a problem. They're non-athletic people, but sciatic strikes everyone.
Because of the sitting.
Because of sitting, and because on some esoteric level we hold emotional stuff in our low back. But taking that off the table, it's sitting, and it creates sciatica. And it's one of the things that Western medicine doesn't treat very well. And that's only because it's a soft tissue issue, and they don't do well with soft tissue.
So what do you think are the emotional factors related to sciatica?
Personal.
Well, yeah, such as.
Anything.
Could be anything.
Anything. We don't go there.
You don't go there.
No.
Okay.
We don't even mention it, actually.
Okay.
We help the person with that sciatic problem, and they get relief quickly, and most of them we see somewhere between 1 and 3 times, and we don't see them again. But we know they're out there because they refer people to us.
Okay.
So that's our #1 non-athletic referral. But we also work on shoulders, all sorts of problems. We're blessed in that we have some orthopedic surgeons who have heard about us, and in their patients' recovery have referred clients to us.
What kind of orthopedic issues?
Usually either surgeries, either knees, hips, or shoulder surgeries. Okay. And in that recovery and physical therapy, they trust us enough to know that we're not the normal massage people. We don't intend to be.
Right, right. Okay. Any other things that you treat?
Headaches.
Headaches. Tell us how.
Backaches.
What do you do for headaches?
Work on the muscles, necks and shoulders.
Necks and shoulders.
Yep.
Okay.
And the occipital points on the back of the head. By releasing that energy there, a lot of times can reduce. And we have 2 dentists that refer their TMJ patients.
Great.
We do a lot of TMJ. TMJ, the dentist can't work on the patient. They refer them to us, and 1 to 2 treatments, they can open their mouth.
For the most part, it's brief, isn't it? In
Yes.
terms of number of.
Yes, visits.
Visits.
We don't. For the Monsters of Massage, our beauty is that we don't want people to come back a lot. We want those folks we want to help those people who come in, we want to help them with the quickest relief as possible.
That's why you get so many referrals.
That's why we get referrals. Yeah.
Yeah, the word
gets out. We're not out to have a person come back every day for a year.
Okay. So you work specifically on somebody might come in and say, my Achilles.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. And you work just on
Achilles,
the
plantar
Achilles.
fasciitis, yes.
Okay.
We do target therapy.
So that means time limited on the table?
Yeah, we do mostly half hours.
Mostly half hours?
Half hour of torture. Actually, well, I think one of the best ones was one of our clients called it therapeutic assault. And I think therapeutic assault just sums it up.
Non-criminal.
Non-criminal. It's with intent. The intent is to help,
okay,
not hurt.
So, yes, it hurts. Does it help? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so I'm going to lie on the table, the torture
Yeah, this torture table.
torture table. And while I'm doing that, Ve Loyce is going to, I have a mic so that in between tears I may be able to say ouch and things like that. But basically, so we have a mic there, and Ve Loyce has a mic, and I've asked Ve Loyce to explain to everyone what he's doing, why he's doing it, and to really help you understand his method. Honest to goodness, it works. But it hurts, but it works. So with that introduction,
Okay.
I'm going to go on the table and I'm going to take my chances.
Okay. And this table evolved actually from the rack.
From the rack.
From the rack.
From the rack. Uh-oh.
Now, the way we work is I really don't do much. You and the Father do the work. My job is to simply be here. So I always ground before I lay a hand on anyone. Thank you, Father, for using these hands in this healing. And we'll do a finger walk here, or a palm walk. And that tells us, the depth of tissue tells us if there's any demons harboring. We call them demons.
You tell us if you find a demon, let us know.
We will.
I think you're there.
And what we do is we dispatch with extreme prejudice. The Monsters of Massage slogans is it takes monsters to kill demons.
It's there, right there.
Yeah.
Oh.
So in a normal massage, the pressure is light. Why we do 30-minute massages is we attack with that extreme prejudice and we go as deep as we can, as quickly as we can. And we get the desired result. Now what we're going to do with Frank here is one of the things we did in 2002, and that's sciatic. The sciatic nerve originates out of these 4 lumbar vertebrae, which is why you get low back pain. It transverses across the sacrum, but out of these 4 lumbar vertebrae, it actually creates a nerve the size of your trigger finger, which comes out of the hip right here, under the piriformis muscle, where the nerve actually hooks up on the hip bone. So what we do is come into this piriformis target and apply pressure. Our intention is to release the pressure upon the sciatic nerve, and that will help diminish or eliminate this ache in your hip, which then goes right down the back of the leg, because we have sciatic nerve trigger points coming down the back of the leg, and then the nerve becomes the size of a pencil as it changes from the calf and it inserts at the bottom of the foot. So you've got a nerve that originates here, is as big as your trigger finger and inserts at the bottom of your foot. And Frank can attest that it actually affects everything from your low back to the tips of your toes. So we do this if we work with a client who has, for example, IT band, iliac tibia band problems, a tight IT. We always check this sciatic nerve target right here. And we can actually feel the intensity, the tightness of that piriformis and the effect it has on the nerve. Then by rotating, checking first, Frank, is your knees good?
So far.
Okay, knees are good. So what we will do, depressing the piriformis, is rotate this leg outward. In doing so, you can feel the vibration in the leg, and the intensity changes for the patient, the client, as you rotate the leg. And this is something people can actually do at home and help their friends, their spouses, coming into the target and applying the pressure sufficiently. The subject will let you know if it's too much. Sometimes when it's really acute, light pressure is painful. But within just a few minutes, you're able to deliver more and more pressure on this target, and it releases for the person. So we chose this condition because so many people that you know right now have had it or are experiencing it. How are we doing, Frank?
So far. I'm not crying.
Okay.
It does hurt.
And we also do a hip pointer back here. This sometimes also goes down the leg.
So, Ve Loyce, I wasn't experiencing any awareness of sciatica issues. So tell us about that, because I'm feeling you're doing stuff.
Yes, and that's just you've got stuff down there. It is not a problem for you.
It hasn't been.
It hasn't been. And you're the perfect example, Frank, because once you got rid of it, it has not come back. Again, we chose this demonstration because it's debilitating for so many people. And it's one of the things, piriformis-itis, that runners get. And it's where the piriformis muscle itself becomes inflamed or agitated, and it lies on the sciatic nerve, or the sciatic nerve for 40% of the people actually grow through the piriformis muscle.
So that's why it's so common for runners.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And it's common for other people who sit a lot. So we work on a lot of people who do desk jobs or who drive a lot. And that's because as the hip bends, it smashes, the muscle itself smashes the piriformis muscle, hates to sit, and it affects the sciatic nerve. Now, while we're poking and prodding here, we'll come right up the paraspinals and see what else we find for Frank.
Oh, you'll find something like right there.
Yeah, the Terry's trigger point always works. Okay.
That hurts.
And in the Monsters of Massage, yelling, kicking, screaming, and cursing are acceptable and encouraged.
Oh.
And so far, we have logged 27 languages having been cursed out in.
Okay.
And it's interesting how certain words, you can tell what they are no matter what language.
Okay, you're hurting me.
Did you catch that? I'm hurting him.
I'm hurting.
All right.
Not crying yet, but that.
No, not crying, but.
So what was that? What was that from?
That was a Terry's trigger point, and this Terry's trigger point, Frank, actually affects the rhomboid, right here, the upper trapezius muscle, the deltoid attachment, the long head of the bicep, the rotator cuff, and right up into the back of the head. All can be affected by that little teres minor trigger point. How are we doing, Frank?
Oh, I'm still alive.
And we did a podcast on Ultra Runner Podcast a couple of years ago, and they asked what common ailments runners get, and some of the things all runners will get: paraformasitis, plantar fasciitis, IT band syndrome, a tight IT, and calves. Okay? If they do a lot of downhill, they'll get quad problems. And these are our specialties. We're blessed to work on some of the best runners in the world. We, of course, do all of the training runs and post
Tell them Western States.
Western States 100-mile endurance run. We work for the Sacramento Running Association. And also all of NorCal Ultras, so the AR50, Way to Cool, and the rest of Julie's races: Dick Collins Fire Trails, Rio de Lago. How are we doing?
Okay.
All right. Are we still having fun, Frank?
No.
No. Are you glad you volunteered?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we appreciate being on your show.
That's where the most pain is, right there.
Right here?
Yeah. I'm sure you'd find things in my calf and my.
That's all right. We don't have to.
We
We
don't
don't have to do a reconnaissance mission
Okay.
on you.
Ooh, that hurts. Ow.
Yes, we have to work to find our target. Some of our clients are target-rich environments. So we're just doing a little finger walk there. How are we doing, Frank?
Okay, we can. We have probably about another 10, 15 minutes of the show. So
Okay.
We could. If there's anything else that you want to demonstrate, I'm here.
Well, let's see. We'll hit this side while we're here. Nothing on that side. You're good and healthy. Do you have any issues at all, Frank? Other than mental ones, I have those.
I have Achilles inflammation
Which
that's
leg?
been with me for years.
Which leg?
It's the left leg.
Okay. So what we're going to do here, Frank, is remove your shoe. There we are.
I don't want you to do too much with that.
Okay. But this is how we would treat the Achilles tendon. We also just raise the foot, stretch the foot, and just pinch it. How does that feel, Frank?
Pinching is fine.
Okay. And because we're not trying to prove anything, we're not going to try to hurt you or anything, okay?
Good.
But this would be a way that we actually help people with their Achilles problems. Just actually come in and help strip the bad juju. So part of the work is to get bad juju out and replace it with good mojo. Also, and that would start right here at the heel and move up
Yeah, see that's
with
it's
a continuous.
sensitive there.
direct, firm pressure from the heel all the way up to the point of origin right here.
Ooh, right there.
And one of these points of origin, this is also one of the acupressure points for the sciatic nerve.
Ooh, that hurts.
So you're doing good, Frank. And then massage this, F4 allows this Achilles all the way up. Now in the office, and when we're not on TV, we actually take the eagle claw, start here and actually strip the bad juju out of the entire Achilles tendon, working both sides, and actually get in deep and get that stuff out of there. But we're not going to do that today, Frank.
Good.
Just a little demonstration on how the monster technique on how we work on Achilles tendon.
Okay.
Lots of people
Okay.
have that.
Okay, great.
And what we find is certain athletes, for example, soccer players or volleyball players, have shin splint problems. And that's because of the turning and the impact, where other sports have specific related issues.
Probably another couple minutes for Loyce now.
All right. How are we doing, Frank?
Doing fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
Still with me?
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
And of course, another good monster technique is we come in with what we call the distraction technique, which is starting at one target and then targeting a secondary target. Kind of confuses the brain as it does not realize which one of the targets hurts the worst.
Oh, I can tell you.
Oh, can you?
Yeah.
Which one is it?
This shoulder.
Okay. But the monster goal is to create the greatest physiological change in the shortest amount of time. That's why Frank invited us here today. We're grateful. Any questions?
Yeah, when I get up, I'll start talking.
Okay. Shall we do that now?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Frank's going to come up, and then we're going to.
We're at about 5 minutes.
Okay. There you go.
Boy, I do perspire.
Well,
The heat is just amazing. Thank you.
you're welcome. And part of everyone who comes into our office to get a monster massage, they all sweat like they're having a workout.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
So, in fact, some CrossFit people actually say there's a progression of sweating, cursing, and nausea, depending upon.
I didn't experience. I've never experienced nausea with you.
Perfect.
Sweating and
At least thinking the cursing.
I don't really curse. I don't think I've cursed, but I would tell you that I'm hurting.
Yes.
I've done that, and yeah, it does hurt. It does hurt. But yes, it works.
It does.
And so grateful to you for all the assistance that you've done over the years. You've helped many, many times.
But we are blessed. I myself do nothing, but we are blessed to participate.
Well, you do. You are. Yeah. I mean, basically, Western states. You see Ve Loyce or Way to Cool and AR and so forth. You're there. You're there helping.
We are.
Helping the runners, which is cool.
We-
Which is cool.
We volunteer. We have a great team of volunteer therapists, experienced therapists that we can work major events.
Tell us a little about where your office is located in Newcastle and
Indeed.
how somebody would get there and
It's
so
in
forth.
Old Newcastle, which is 4 miles west of Auburn, about 16 miles east of Sacramento, right on Interstate 80. And we're in the big packing shed building, biggest building in downtown Newcastle.
Tell us about the history of that building.
Building was built in the 1930s when Newcastle was the fruit capital of North America. Pears, plums, peaches that were exported all over North America came out of Newcastle,
Wow.
out of those packing sheds. So we're blessed to be in a beautiful facility that my wife has decorated. Gorgeous environment, totally yin to yang from the massage. So we soothe you and lull you by having a very beautiful environment, very relaxing until you get into the den. And we have 3 massage dens.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so how does one go about arranging to see you? What do they
You
do?
can either reach us by email,
Email.
yes, but I'm kind of old school, so you can call us. We respond to the telephone.
That
We do
still-
not text.
That still works.
Yes, if you text us, you will not hear back because we don't text.
Okay. So a call or email.
Email.
Yeah.
And all that information's going to come up, I'm sure.
That'll-
Or you can even look us up, Google us, Monsters of Massage. We have a beautiful website
You do.
We
you
do. with lots of great people who
Testimonials.
Testimonials.
Lots of testimonials. So that would give.
we're very gracious.
Well, you've helped a lot of people, and your Monsters of Massage is well known.
We're blessed.
You are.
Yeah.
So where do you see yourself going from here?
Teaching. At the end of this year, we hope to have Monsters of Massage classes, and that's requested. We get calls or emails from all over the United States every month for wanting a referral in their area. And so we are going to design a Monsters of Massage training class where people can sign up. You can reach that online or give us a call. We hope to do that at the end of the year, or certainly by the first part of next year. We will have a curriculum for Monsters of Massage, what we do, and it's different enough that people come to us from all over the United States.
That's great. So hopefully you enjoyed the show. I mean, can't say I enjoyed my treatment, but I experienced it, and that's the best part of it. So forget about enjoying it.
Yeah.
And thank you for watching our show. And by all means, if you have an issue, he's the guy.
Thank you.
Bye all.